Bruno Walter, who was to have conducted this afternoon, is ill, and his place will be taken by the young American-born assistant conductor of the Philharmonic Symphony, Leonard Bernstein.
On November 14th, 1943, there emerged in the firmament a new star. That star turned into a comet, and that comet turned into a meteor, which landed on the podium of Carnegie Hall on that very day. That meteor had a name, Leonard Bernstein.
My dad was 25, and the phone rang, and it was Bruno Zirato, the manager of the New York Philharmonic, informing my dad that he was going to have to conduct the matinee concert that very day because Bruno Walter was sick, and he was going to have to step in. The thing that never happens for assistant conductors was going to happen to my dad that day.
The young Bernstein mounted the podium at Carnegie Hall, stood in front of the New York Philharmonic, and led a performance that catapulted him to the front page of the New York Times.
It's Joshua Bell here, and I'm just so excited to be coming to the Bernstein Festival here with the New York Philharmonic at the opening concert, playing what I think is one of Bernstein's greatest pieces, the Serenade for Violin and Orchestra. I performed it with Alan. It's a piece that we just have so much fun doing, so it'll be a highlight of my season, and can't wait to see you all there.
The first symphony is instrumental until the last movement, and the last movement uses a text from the Old Testament. It's from the Book of Lamentations, and it is a kind of keening, grieving sound that this singing has in the last movement, and it's just a real breast-beating sensibility. Symphony No. 2, Age of Anxiety, is also about, being upset with the world. The text that inspired Symphony No. 2, Age of Anxiety, was by W.H. Auden, which is all about, the state of the world and what are we going to do about it, which is a sensibility that we still have all these years later. So that symphony may really resonate with audiences today.
We've chosen two works that have important relevance to Bernstein. The first one is indeed one of the pieces that he led as a substitute for Bruno Walter. Richard Strauss's elegant tone poem, Don Quixote, played by the orchestra's principal cellist, Carter Bray, representing the hero, and Sancho Panza, portrayed by Cynthia Phelps, the violist. The second, I will lead his final symphony, written in 1963, which is called Kaddish.
The Kaddish title of the symphony came after President Kennedy was assassinated. And he had actually already decided to use the text of the Kaddish prayer, the Hebrew text. The prayer is used at a funeral when someone has died. So at that point, he decided to dedicate his symphony to the slain president. And it became the Kaddish Symphony dedicated to JFK.
So many of us were transfixed and glued to our television sets when Leonard Bernstein would come out and explain what music was all about.
What exactly is Viennese music? Well, it's a number of things, but I'm sure that the first thought that springs into your minds is the waltz.
Through clever demonstrations, through musical excerpts, through soaring personality and wonderful text, young people across this country learned from the master.
He loved conducting the Philharmonic. They were his gang, his extended family. And we certainly felt that way as his kids. We felt like we had sort of 106 siblings. His reaction to being celebrated this way by the Philharmonic would not be, who, me? He was no shrinking violet when it came to getting attention. especially for his own music, he would have loved that. He would have been thrilled to see all three of his symphonies getting all this attention from his extended family.
The inspiration he left for all of us not only holds us through this 100th anniversary of his birth, but for all time we left here on Earth as musicians. In 43, the star was born, the comet swished across the sky, the meteor landed, and what it left us was the most important piece of musical history that classical music could ever have in the United States. That was Leonard Bernstein.